If they can't burn it down, they'll twist your mind inside out. They'll buy up our realities.
So, welcome anybody that's listening. I am Nick, usually here with Chad Toomer for Buff Danny Presents and Rabbit Holes and Bunny Quote. But since we did to like a bi-monthly format, since it's both busy seasons for the most part, we're gonna try and do like some side content that's just solo and see how it goes. I mean, for me, it probably won't be too long. I'm not, too vested in doing anything solo, but there's some things that me and him go back and forth with during the maybe between the two of us, we'll talk about things solo that both of us want to kind of reiterate when we get together, which will be a lot of fun, I think. So I'm going to sit here with my bourbon. This Clyde Mays, I was drinking something earlier that was really good that I just picked up off a tasting in the liquor store. But if you get a chance and you're a bourbon person, grab it. So I wanted to kind of talk about an article that I had found probably and it kind of goes into something that me and him talk about a lot, which is the I don't even know what you call it anymore, gender identity. I mean, gender dysmorphia. I kind of like to consider it, do what you want to do, leave me the fuck alone, don't cost me money. That's how I view a lot of things, because I'll always say I'm not one spectrum or the other. I'm pretty much a very I like to look at things logically. I mean, I think empathy gets in the way of a lot of things. I think you need to leave room for empathy, but also just people around you, or at least the strangers around you, because I mean, in the grand scheme of things, your friends and family should be there for you, or they're not your friends and family. But the strangers around you should not have to feel obligated. Beneficial, and it really does, help the benefit of society. But in the grand scheme of things, when it's expected but not reciprocated, that starts to breed a little bit of we'll just say anger and dissentment, when you shouldn't feel that way, because you do have to realize that, outside of this, you're kind of are on your own. But anyway, going into this, I'm going to pull up learning how to years since I used to do one of my old shows with a buddy of mine. And actually seems tweaked out a little bit, like things have changed. So I can't do the split screen stuff anymore like I used to be able to do until I figure it out. But this is called if else sign. I don't know to me in one of my feeds, but it goes on to, gender. And oh my God, excuse me, that let me just show you. And I've run through the article a few times, and then I'm going to probably do about 10 minutes and maybe talk 1 or 2 minutes on other things. And we'll just see where it goes. And if anybody jumps in the chat, that's great. I'm sorry if the feed is kind of shitty. For some reason, the YouTube doesn't seem to be working as good as the Rumble, which, I mean, I'm more of a pro Rumble guy myself. I might even start actually figuring out how to restream them on our own site, Fructose. I used to like to do that on my own, and I'm one of those people, again, where if you don't like the way something works, or you don't like the way some kind of provider or service is treating you, you move on. You move on to something else, and if you can't find something else, you do it yourself. I should probably be recording this as well, so if something gets fucked up, I can upload it, because I can already tell the feed is pretty shitty right now. So you know what? Maybe I will. Maybe I will recording. Just so that way I can have it and upload it later. Oh, warning. Output may be reduced. Okay, as opposed to, let me see, add record to disk, MP4. Okay. You know what? I'm sorry if you got to bear with me. It doesn't look like anybody's in here yet anyway. So. No, I don't want to. Oh, motherfucker. Oh, it wants me to stop. No, I'm not going to stop everything. I don't know why it wants me to do that. So anyway, we'll just go to what we're doing. So anyhow, let's show you the article that I found that I thought was pretty interesting. So let's go back to my Wirecast window. Opinion. Now, granted, opinion. So I want to I want to emphasize that it's an opinion article, and generally speaking, there are two ways I don't read articles, and one of them is when it says opinion. Like generally, I'll skim it if it seems like it's something interesting, but I don't bother with an article if there's no comment section, because that means you don't stand by what you are writing, and you don't want to take the chance to have dissenting point of views that might point out the fragility of your argument. Now, to be honest, I kind of section. Oh, it did. Look at that. It had a comment section. Oh, I don't remember the comment section being there. I don't think I left a comment. So, but regardless, I thought this was actually interesting enough because it really kind of emphasized how I feel. Now, granted, I can't emphasize this enough. I don't consider myself left. I don't consider myself right. I consider myself a very centered person and somebody who builds their opinions off sort of what I feel is a well constructed and logical point of view. You know, again, maybe not the most empathetic, but usually a logical one. So, but you know, the thing that I always emphasize on the left is it doesn't seem to be logic anymore. It just seems to be this willy-nilly, frivolous, I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want. And I know you don't care, but I'm going to push it in your face so much that you are going to learn to care or you're going to hate me. And I am on the side of I'm going to hate you because I don't want to be bothered with anything that you have to tell me. Anybody. Just anybody. In the grand scheme of things, I care about very little. If it doesn't affect my personal relations or my finances, I am not interested. And once those things start to overlap into those two things that I care about, then I get very interested, and you are better off not having me interested in your politics or your self point of views. So anyway, let's go back to this. So, opinion. The biological science rejects the sex binary, and that's good for humanity. Whether it's good or not, I don't care. Whether the biological science rejects it, I'm going to kind of stand against that, because this person even prefaces it. Wow. Clyde Mays, everybody. Prefaces it in their own article, and I don't think they realize they did that. So it starts off with Ketanji. Is that her name? Ketanji Brown Jack. I don't know the place of the Supreme Court, the new Supreme Court adjustment, the checkbox. I mean, that's all we can really say it was. Ketanji Brown Jackson was a placation. That's all she was. Whether that matters to me, I don't really know, and I don't care. We're going to have to see how that turns out, and whether she's a person or just a, like I said, a checkbox who is going to cross all the T's and dot all the I's that the party wants her to do, and that would be a problem. And that goes into something we talk at the end with the whole Second Amendment rigmarole at the end of this. But during, and I honestly don't, but during the beginning, when they were doing more than one person asked her if she could define a woman. Now, granted, I see and don't see the point of that question, because in the grand scheme of things, I don't care. My point of view is the fact that a woman and a vagina. You think that's something else, and that's what gets you hard, knock yourself. But she could not answer that question. So this person kind of goes into that and uses it to build or their argument. Because to be honest, one, I don't know the person who wrote this article. Grand scheme of things, I have to watch What Is a Woman by I think it was the Daily Mail that just came out. That looks very interesting. And for all conclusions, but I'm pretty sure I'll stay where I am. Oh, excuse me. So anyway, article, and then maybe. Oh my God. Haven't evolved much since 1871, when naturalist Charles Darwin told the world that a man is more courageous, pugnacious, and energetic than a woman and has more inventive genius. Okay, in the grand scheme of things, yeah, that definition is probably not going to hold up the same way. Most 19th and 20th century evolutionary theorists asserted that evolution created two kinds of creatures, male and female. The individual's behavior and nature reflected biological binary. Now, there are biological differences between a male and female. The whole swim team debacle that's going on now kind of proves that. Males genetically are born with about, on average, so if you took a male and a female of the same categories, but on average, a male has about 30% more muscle mass than a female does. I mean, there are certain pros and cons to each, gender for the most part, but evolutionary speaking, males are built a different way biologically. We were generally built to be the muscle and expendable. I mean, that's just the way nature defined us. So anyway, going further, today, of course, the scientific sounding claims about blue and pink brains, testosterone, male primate aggression are offered up as natural explanations for masculine and feminine behavior. And I actually do stand by that as well, because testosterone is a hormone and hormones control your brain, and they will make you do primate aggressive things when you're trying to either defend your territory or attract a mate. And those were just evolutionary things that we... Oh, somebody may join us. That we began to have. So... offered up as a natural explanation for masculine and feminine behavior, along with gaps in pay, which has nothing to do with anything in this article, because the pay gap is a myth, and it's been proven to be a myth because there are different categories where women make a lot more than I do. My other half makes more than I do. She is in a profession where women are paid more, and it's benefited her. I don't have any... I'm very happy for her. I'm proud of her, but there are also areas such as teaching and nursing and so forth where women are paid more than men because women dominate that. Real estate agents. I had my real estate license years and years and years ago for just shits and giggles. Women generally made more. On average, women were more sought after to be real estate agents because there was also the stigma there that they were homemakers and they knew the home better. But then generally speaking, men would be the inspectors. All right, so anyway, along with pay gaps, jobs, political and economic leadership, and sexuality, really not going to go into that. Political legal realms belief that biology creates two types of humans is invoked in a range of attempts to mandate and enforce how humans should behave. No, it's not how humans should behave, it's how humans do behave. And these are laws of averages. They're, as one of my friends likes to tell me all the time, you're the exception, you're not the norm. There's always going to be exceptions to the rule, but on average, these are how humans do behave, not should behave. No one's telling anybody how they should behave, especially not today's day and age. The assertions and beliefs are wrong, which I don't understand what assertions and beliefs they're talking about, because already they have lost me in the fact that everything they're saying is archaic. In addition, the commitment to simple binary views create a fictitious template for a battle of the sexes, which I don't even think exists anymore. And even I was born in fucking 1979. I don't ever remember there being a real battle of the sexes. If there was, it was usually in a Coca-Cola commercial for parody's sake. So don't know what this person's talking about. Biology, blah, 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 should behave. The assertions and beliefs are wrong. In addition, the commitment of binary, battle of the sexes that manifests in miseducation about basic biology. Okay, there's no miseducation about basic biology. Basic biology is basic biology. The denigration of women's rights, that doesn't happen anymore. I don't know what they're talking about unless they're talking about abortion, which in the grand scheme of things, I'm a pro-choice person, but there's a lot of women who are pro-life. So the women's rights, I guess that's still up for debate. Anyway, justification of incels and men's rights violence and the creation of anti-transgender laws. Of course, I don't know what anti-transgender laws they're talking about unless they're going onto something that me and Doomer talked about a couple weeks ago when I had brought up Trump and how when he had became president and he had enacted certain transgender orders for the military, but that was simply because, along with me, and people did not feel that towards gender hormone therapy, which therapy is the wrong word because then that makes it sound like it's a correction, gender hormone supplementation and reassignment surgery that should not be paid for by taxpayer dollars. I mean, granted, again, I made a comment in the beginning about my hairline. I cannot get that taxpayer dollars. Why should anybody else? Why should people be able to get lap band surgery or anything like that through tax dollars? Again, believe what you want to believe, but don't make it become inconvenient to strangers around you. Because in the grand scheme of things, you could say it's not for society, but the strangers around you, they don't care if you live or die. Primarily, you're not in there because they don't know. Anyway, so transgender laws, science points to a more accurate and hopeful way of understanding biology and sex by recognizing the true diversity of the human experience. Okay, no, stop it. Humanity can embrace an expansive and multifaceted way of envisioning and experiencing human nature. Okay, that's a lot of things, but it doesn't boil down to gender and sex. The evidence-based outlook is not only far more interesting than simplistic and incorrect tallywhacker versus no tallywhacker, ooh, that is funny perspective, but also more conducive to respect and flourishing. So again, this debate that I hear about things all the time when it comes to transgender, and I just want to make sure I check the chats. So when the transgender stuff comes up, everybody always brings up the same thing. What do I identify as? Well, I have tits, but I identify as a male. So my thing is, how much effort are you willing to put into that? So if you come out and you still look, sound, and act like a female, and I call you a female, but you tell me you are a male, I am sorry, you are a female. And you telling me I need to identify you as the opposite is inconveniencing me the same way that you feel I am inconveniencing you. So your opinion on how you feel about respect is the same that you should be giving me. And I'm sorry, but that's just how it is. There's no flourishing after that. So anyway, starting at the most basic level of animal biology, there are multitudes of ways to be female, male, or both. And this is where things take a very big divergence from the title of this, which I am going to go back to right now. And I'm sorry I keep looking away. Biological science rejects. So anyway, if we go back down here now, sorry, I lost my mouse cursor. Okay, hold on, sorry. These are wrong, the binary use, fish, the blah, blah. Shit, I lost myself. Wrong, and the commitment to binary view creates a fictitious template for the battle of the sexes. Okay, we went past that. Starting at the most basic level of animal biology, there are multiple ways to be female, male, or both. And the oceans are filled with species of fish because that is a very good example and comparison to mammals. I guess. I don't know. That change from one sex to another midlife. Okay, you know what that's called? That's called biology. Regardless, and I know what they're probably talking about, and one of the main ones is clownfish because I do reef fish tanks, and clownfish will actually almost borderline start off as amorphous, dysmorphous. I don't remember the word right now. And then the more dominant one will become the female. But here's the funny thing about that: that dominant one that becomes a female can actually get ovaries and lay eggs. So that is biologically a female. Sorry if that went too far out there. And then some who change back again, which of course, when they change back again, they're usually male, and the females still are the ones that give birth. There are invertebrate hermaphrodites and ladies-only lizards who produce by recombining their own chromosomes. Okay, so lady-only lizards who reproduce. So they said it right here. Let me highlight that just in case anybody can't see it. Ladies-only lizards who reproduce. Didn't say male-only lizards who reproduce by combining their own chromosomes. In some mammals, females are bringing testosterone. Okay, that's fantastic. Pretty much all females have testosterone. They have testosterone, and they have oh shit, what's the one that grows your tits? I don't know. It starts with an A. It'll come back to me. But every species, male and female, has both testosterone. Okay, you know what? Hold on. Now I gotta fucking find out what it is. Female sex hormone. I feel like this is going to bring estrogen. Oh, fuck. I said an A. So basically every creature on Earth has both testosterone and estrogen. So I don't know what they're trying. Okay, again, even if you are brimming with testosterone, does that mean you have a tallywhacker? Funny quotes. So I don't understand. Looked up this, so let me go back. This was the one thing that kind of caught this link, and this link is actually on fructose, and it's not penises; they're just large clitorises, which pretty much any species, even human females, can have that they consider penises. Like I guess the one they brought up was the hyena, which they say it's just a clitoris that looks like a penis, and the males don't have descended testicles, which a lot of animals don't. And I think elephants was one of the ones that they referenced, because I would imagine if an elephant had descended testicles, they would probably be bobbing and wagging between their fucking goddamn knees all day, and they'd be curled up on the ground with their front legs between their back legs most of the time. So anyway, I'm sure that was an evolutionary advantage for them. All right. In various fish and mammals, males do all the caretaking of infants. Okay, so does that make stay-at-home dads females, even though that they might still consider themselves men? And a variety of species, females are authoritarian, promiscuous, and pugnacious. Okay. I don't know what they really... So you have a female who's maybe a little more assertive. Now she's a male. So I will tell you that my other half gets in my face quite a bit. It does not make her a man. And she would argue this fact with this person. Being a assertive female does not make you a man. I don't know if that's what this person is trying to say. And also, I should actually say that tallywhacking and that easy to pick this apart. But in the grand scheme of things, if I talk to a real extreme leftist who believes this bullshit, they would argue left and right with me to the point where I am pulling just out of the whims and fancies of my imagination and logic, and they would probably they would just be pointing, screaming in my face, and then storm off and some kind of differences between males and females in many species, but there are far more diversity, complexity, and collaboration than most people realize. Blah 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 blah. Oh my God, there's a lot of this. I forgot this was this long. Biology is not simply defined or uniformly, and now it kind of is. Again, can you give birth or can you not give birth? In humans, having two X chromosomes or two X and Y chromosomes does not create binary bodies, destinies, or lives. Okay, fantastic. But again, if you have a penis and you want to walk around with fake tits and a wig and say, "I'm a pretty lady," knock yourself out. Don't be inconsiderate to me and make me have to recognize that, because I'm just not going to. It'd be the same thing as, me living where I am, putting on a fucking cowboy hat and telling everybody, to call me Billy the Kid. I'm not. Let me see. Where did we go? If you crawl into the womb with a fetus about 6 to 8 weeks of age, we'd see a few clusters of cells, emerging bodies get nudges, blah, blah, new organs, blah, blah, clitoris, blah, blah, blah. Yes, I know. Is she going the whole thing that all people start off female? I always have a joke about that. Yes, we all start off as female in the womb. Some of us get to evolve. It's a joke. In fact, 140 million babies born last year did not fit into a clear penis versus labia model of sex determination. Yes, that is what we would call, again, you are not the rule, you are the exception. That is an oddity. That is something that would end up in Guinness, all right? And in the grand scheme of things, most of the times when that happens, the doctors will try to correct that as early as possible because that becomes a psychological stress on the child. So anyway, no hormones are not reliable determinations of sex. So yeah, genitals kind of are a pretty good determination of sex. I'm just going to go that route. There are, for example, people with XY chromosomes who have female characteristics, people with ambiguous genitalia, women with testosterone levels out. Yeah, okay, those are the women that you see working at McDonald's that generally have beard stubble. But anyway, again, female characteristics, ambiguous genitalia, that's generally the exception, not the rule. You are not working on averages. Biologically, there is no simple dichotomy between male and female. Yes, there is. I have said it several times. Oh, as I demonstrated.